don't know. I can never tell with this. Hello, old guys learning technology.
And broadcasting.
Yeah, click the button that says end broadcast. That's how we get started. Yeah.
Should have peed first.
Oh, I thought you said shut up, Peeve.
No, shut up,
I don't know what the hell you call me Peeve for.
Because you're my
That's
pet.
some rude shit.
You're my pet. Hello, pet.
All right.
Yeah.
Hello, folks. It's us again.
Hey there.
Greg and Peeve.
Hey. I'm Greg.
I'm Peeve.
And we're Greg and Peeve.
And it's episode number 37 of Everything's Late and Nobody Dies.
Wow, 37, huh?
37.
Imagine if we'd been doing it every week.
We'd be up to like 39.
I know, right? My God, that's nuts. Almost to the what is it, the aluminum anniversary, number 40? Is that it? Yeah.
The aluminum.
Yeah.
Get you like one of those old aluminum Christmas trees from the 60s.
Oh, I made all those into hats.
I would totally rock one of those in the house.
I made all those into hats. I read Blue Book and I was like, yeah, I need a hat. Oh, it's been a week. It's been a crazy week. And the sale ended. We got some great stuff in.
You got a bunch of really cool stuff in after the sale.
Yeah, like literally the day after the sale.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that. Oh yeah, so then you put that up after the sale. Like, I just got them this morning. Shut up.
And it's not like you weren't throwing out bangers all night long.
Right? Huh? Yeah, but
there were people walking down here with short box full of 90s keys.
Yeah. That's boy, Brandon did well.
Yeah,
Brandon did well with them. He was just waiting for me to price that.
I know, I didn't know that's what was going on. He had that Sandman #1. Yeah, and I'm like, hey, let me take a look at that. I'd be interested in that. I didn't realize that you guys were doing that thing. So,
and he's a nice guy. He's super mellow. He's a really cool guy.
Yeah,
I could almost feel him go. Anyway, yeah, there was a lot of really good stuff. Spider-Mans and everything. Yeah, good stuff.
I think right now I'm kind of focusing more on like some of the older DC stuff.
Yeah, we got a bunch of that in.
I think DC is. I actually had stopped at another store before I came here to pick up some books, and I was talking to the manager up there, and Jeff was saying that I don't understand. There's nobody bringing DC in. Like, we're not seeing a whole lot of it around.
I got so much of it.
But like the really good stuff. And I think a lot of people are hoarding that old DC.
Well, here, look, this is like, I mean, they're not in great condition, but man.
Oh yeah, that Bronze Age. That is good stuff. That is good stuff.
You know, Black Magic, Superman stuff, a little Batman.
Yeah,
there we go. Now you see it.
Like the pre-Bane Batman stuff.
Oh yeah, way free. Yeah, Sergeant Rock, OMAC, Spectre and Adventure Comics. We're getting tons of this stuff, and like the bronze and the late silver stuff. You know?
I think that's the next sector of the hobby to kind of blow up.
I do too.
I think it's about time for that.
Yeah. Oh my God! And then I just realized I screwed up that cover. It was good. Dude's neck, you know. I know, right? Oh yeah, again, dude. See, look at this freaking neck. It's like coming off. So let's see. Just leave this here. I'm Greg. There we go. Yeah, I mean, we're getting a lot of that stuff in. Not a bunch of like silvers too. We just put up a bunch of World's Finest, and we have some Superman stuff, and just like, and it's there's so much stuff coming in right now.
Wow.
You know, I probably look at, I would say on the average, I look at 3 or 4 collections a day.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it is.
That's one I don't want.
Well, that's why we had the sales and make some damn room for these things, you know? But yeah, and there's all kinds of great stuff going on.
Yeah. For sure. There's not a whole lot of great stuff, new stuff. I mean, I'm not currently reading much of anything.
I'm enjoying a lot of stuff right now. Like a lot
new
of
stuff, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah.
Like, I'm reading a lot of back issue stuff. Trying to think of what it was I picked up last week. it was like 3 issues in, and I was like, I didn't even know they existed. I think that was pretty good.
Yeah, I can't remember what that was.
But it
You're
was
like, wait,
good.
what's this?
It was good stuff.
Yeah. No, Blue Book was really good. Rock and Roll Hell this week. Again, we talked about that a little bit Wednesday. Oh, so good. That was so fun.
I do find myself going back to like 2018, 2019, just the stuff that came out just before I started back into it.
Oh, the stuff last decade?
Yeah. I mean, stuff like there's a lot of stuff that started back then that I haven't read. Resident Alien, I didn't get in on that. I didn't get in on Something Still in the Children, or really Department of Truth. That was just kicking off right as I started, and I started dabbling in that a little bit. I've never read any Walking Dead or anything like that.
The Dead Walk. Spoiler.
Well,
and then there's a cliffhanger that's never resolved at the end of every issue.
Really?
It's like, oh my god, man, he was, shot in the face. And the next issue is like, oh, it's a good thing that was just a graze. Seriously, really, next issue, somebody really important dies. Oh no, my god, man. And then, like, nobody important dies. Just a supporting character, Or, at the end of the issue, Rick's like, we're not going to take it anymore. We're going to go after him. And they're like, oh, boy, that's right. And then the first couple issues is like, look, I just said that to get you guys riled up and let you know that we're not going to go after him. We need to be in peace. I'm like, oh, jeez, I hate this book. But I still liked it, though, too. You know what I mean? It's like, and once you figure out the pattern of it and the fact that, all these big, quote unquote, epic, huge plot devices and cliffhangers are really not going to be solved in any way that's going to matter. And that's that. Then it's like, oh, okay, well, we're fine.
Yeah, I find myself more gravitating to the 5-6 issue miniseries, limited series.
Yeah, I'm liking a lot of that stuff right now.
Because everything's wrapped up in a nice, neat little package.
Yeah.
You can wait for 4 or 5 issues to come out before you pick them up.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I liked about Rock and Roll Hell is it was a one-shot. It was one and done, man. I was like, God, this is so much fun. It's really awesome, And there are a couple of other things that I've tried recently that, are one-shots, and, every now and again I'll look at something and be, okay, well, maybe I should check that out. And then I end up really enjoying it.
Yeah, Kenny was trying to get me to read the Radiant Black, Radiant Red, all that stuff. And I don't feel like I have the time or the want to kind of invest in a whole universe again.
Yeah, Ryan Parrott's really good, but I don't think I need to do that.
And I'm sure it's amazing. I mean, he says fantastic things about it. He's a fanboy, but for me, it's just that, especially they keep expanding it. Like
there's like
every
5
month,
or 6 books now,
yeah.
And that's a bit much.
I mean, and that's great if they can hold that market share. But
I mean, if you're only reading that and like 5 other books, then great, okay, cool. But I mean, I'm bringing home 200 or 300 titles a month. I mean, I cut down a little bit. It's probably 200 a month. Yeah, it's like I can't read that.
Well, and much. even Spawn with 4 different Spawn titles.
5 unwanted violence.
Oh. So yeah, 5 different titles in the Spawn universe.
I mean, that's a miniseries, but still, it's a title. Yeah, it's too much.
And then they throw Spawn Batman at you.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, at one point there were 6, I guess, still the Spawn Batman because they keep reprinting it and putting different versions and whatever. So I mean, there's still technically 6 Spawn books on the shelf right now, and one of them is in the midst of that 20 Batman books mess.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I have very little interest in any mainstream superhero stuff right now, and even the Batman stuff is starting to kind of wane for me a bit.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. They need to inject something into it to make it more exciting.
Yeah. Well, when that happens with me, I always just go to a bunch of indie books, and weird stuff. That's E. Pliskin, the guy that's doing like Firstborns and Purple Oblivion, the heavy metal drummer. His stuff is so good, and I still don't know. I don't know what any of them are about. I don't understand any of them, and I don't care. Purple Oblivion, Purple Oblivion was just plain old. It was like if David Cronenberg made a comic book in the late '80s. Weird body horror stuff. And they even like homage Cronenberg in it. They talk about the new Flash and stuff from Videodrome. They use a couple of lines from Videodrome.
Right.
That the children out there wouldn't understand. But yeah, that's really cool. And then when I get sick of more mainstream stuff, I'll go and dive into just weird indie stuff. And then read that for like a week. Give myself a break. Then pop back in. That's what I did, and I finished up the last Daredevil series. I'm on Devil's Reign now, which I really like that.
I think Devil's Reign was probably some of the best Daredevil in the last couple of decades for sure.
Yeah, it's just I'm going to be reading that probably tonight. I'll probably read that tonight. But it's just it kind of moves the mainstream stuff to the side for a little bit, and then I appreciate it more because there's so much of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I read Spider-Man, Batman, X-Men, Daredevil, all that stuff, and it's like, God, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
There's so many titles, so I do need to kind of give myself a break.
And the indie stuff is so good right now, and I do not know why it's just not catching on. I don't know whether there's too much of it in the marketplace. I don't feel it's oversaturated. Even in a shop like yours, I mean, you attempt to carry just about everything that the distributor has.
I try. And I mean, nobody can, but I try to.
But you have, I mean, even the other shops in town, everybody has a wider range of books. It has a lot of the indie stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like you have to though, because I mean, there are a lot of people that will only do the indie stuff. I've got a guy that has a hold, and all he gets is obscure hardcovers and trades, and then Fantagraphics stuff, and then every now and again, depending on the writer and the artist, you will get superhero stuff, but it'll be like, oh yeah, Tom Taylor did this cool Batman story, I want that.
Right.
And that's kind of what he does, and he gets some of the older superhero stuff, but for the most part, he just gets indie stuff. Like, he loves Drawn Quarterly, Fantagraphics, a lot of the under the radar weird manga stuff. Like, he loves like Parasite, stuff like that. So I kind of have to, obviously.
Right.
I have to carry that stuff because even when I started, I carried a ton of stuff that was like, oh, okay, well, I don't read this, but I don't care either. I have to carry it. And I think that's some of the mistakes that some people that I've seen that have shops, not so much right now, but in the past, have done. They're like, okay, well, I read this, so I'm going to stock it. And it's like, oh, I don't like this, or I don't like that, or I'm not reading this, so I don't want it on my shelf.
Right.
That's like, well, you're not running a personal library. You're running a store.
Yeah.
It's like having a grocery store saying, oh, I only have the foods that I like. It's like, well, you ain't going to be in business for long.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're not reading Star Trek.
That's a pretty safe, that's a thick limb to walk on. That's not going to break.
But I know it's here for me every week. And
well, yeah,
you've got it on the shelf, so you're not buying it just for me.
Right.
You're making it available for everybody. So
yeah, I don't read any of the Spawn stuff either.
Yeah.
But so what? What am I going to do? Not carry Spawn because I don't read it? I mean,
I never got that mentality.
It's silly, and it's also a little bit arrogant. I think that it's like what I read is good, and if you want something else, it's not. it seems a little like, really?
Well, and that's kind of that toxic gatekeeping that you've heard. So that's the comic shop owner from The Simpsons, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
that's the guy that would do that.
yeah. Yep. And then have stuff up there that nobody could touch, nobody could buy, and
yeah,
nobody could look at. It's like, you can't look at it. You're not with it. You can't do that.
That's why I don't bill myself as a reseller. I mean, I resell comic books, but if it's cool, it's staying in the personal collection, and it's not budging, and I know that. So if I base my business and my income on what I was selling, like I would be homeless. I would be homeless with a bunch of comic books, but I'd be homeless.
So why? Because you run out of money, or because Cat would just tell you to leave, or both? No, I think I would consider you a reseller, not a retailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't have as wide. Obviously, you can't because you're on the storefront, but you don't have like the wide variety of things that I have. But you do buy stuff and resell them, but then you also get a whole lot of stuff for yourself.
Yeah, the problem I have with reselling, and I learned this when I had a shop, is cool things come in and you want them. Like, I'm too much of a collector to be a business.
Cool things come in and they don't go out. It's
don't.
like a roach motel.
They don't.
That's why I worked really hard for a while, completing these collections of things that I collect. That's why we got an X-Men 1 in, and I sold it because I have one, and that was probably in better condition than mine. But it doesn't matter. I'm attached to that one. I'll have you press it at some point, clean it up a little bit, but I'm attached to that. And I think there's like some amateur restoration that somebody retouched a color or something. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, whatever, man. But I love that. That's something that I love.
Well, I'm really fortunate that I have a skill set that I can be in the comic industry without having to deal in books.
Yeah,
my skill set allows me to play around with comics for a living, but I don't ever have to part with any of mine. So
I have no skills, but it's just nice that paper is worth a lot of money sometimes. We'll just go with that.
Hey, Captain, how's it going today? Captain Comics is
hey there,
hanging out. Okay, so as promised, I did want to discuss a little bit today signatures on books. It's something that's come up a few times. I was just talking to Jam about it a few minutes ago. He had some old Daredevil books, and they're all autographed by the artist. And off the top of my head, I can't remember who the artist was. Yeah. So
kind of a Daredevil thing.
So he has all of these, and there's like 5 or 6. I think he said he got 9 total or whatever, and he didn't want them. He's like, I don't really. I kept telling the guy I don't want them because they're signed books. It's so hard to resell a signed book because everybody's like, doesn't have a COA. Where's the placement? Is it legit? Like,
yeah.
What do I have to go? It doesn't have. It's not slapped with a gold label, so it can't be worth anything.
Yeah,
which just irritates just irritates the hell out of me.
You almost made swear.
I did. It pisses me off because I've got the Whatnot exclusive, like the bloody Tyler Kirkham Invincible 1 and 2, and I got them from Whatnot, and I went to FanX, stood right in front of Tyler Kirkham, had a conversation with him, and he signed them right in front of me.
Yeah.
And
even if you have film of that, that's not good enough.
It's not good enough for these people. Like, I mean, what do you got to do?
I feel like signed books are something personal. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I've got signed books from people that have been here. Not every time, but most of the time, when people come to sign, have him sign something for my daughter. She's got a stack of signed books from like so many people. It's ridiculous.
Right.
She's actually got Ryan's first art on Invincible that he signed to her years ago.
Right on. That's cool.
Derek signed some stuff. Derek Robertson signed some stuff to her. It's just she's got some great stuff, and she's got some really cool stuff. She's got an original My Little Pony cover that Ryan did for her years ago. That's about the time that he did my MODOK. But and that's like, okay, it doesn't have a COA. It's not slabbed. But it's an original cover. You can tell that he drew it. You can tell what his signature is. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you can tell. And if somebody's going to go to that much trouble to do an original cover in the style of somebody else and learn how to sign their name, I think they deserve $40 or $50. I mean, that's a lot. But it's, and a lot of this stuff is like, so many of these signatures, you can tell if it's their signature. Like this, you get that up there. Yeah, and Brian Polito.
Right.
I've seen so many things signed by Brian. That does not look like it says Brian Polito.
No,
I know it does not.
That's why I'm saying that.
But I know that's his signature. Okay, because he's signed like a ton of stuff like that. Garth Ennis is another one. And his signature is like it's this kind of half-ass G, and then thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Kind of, and that's terrible. It's a terrible signature, but it's his, and that's kind of like Stan Lee's is not like the best signature, but it's his.
Right.
Somebody can fake it, but I mean, that's part of the thing, I guess, with COAs is you can fake it, but you can't sell it for as much as if it had a COA. You know what I mean? Because you can't. It's not authenticated. I mean, I guess you could send it into CBCS and get it slabbed and authenticated.
Right.
But that's going to cost you money.
And I've been around long enough as you have to know that.
Did you just call me old?
Ancient.
Okay.
That's where we're at.
That's fair.
But we've been in this game long enough to know that Beckett authentication. I mean, that's pretty legit
right,
company.
Yeah.
So, and I know people that work at Beckett, and I know people that have authenticated signatures for years. But I see a lot of what really throws me is I see a lot of books with COAs, and people send me these books, and then I have to send them into CBCS, and they send them to me with the COA.
Mm-hmm.
Beckett doesn't care. They'll throw it away.
Yeah.
They'll throw away a COA.
Oh, yeah.
So don't ever send a book to Beckett. Don't send it to your professor. Don't send your book off with your COA, because that means more to you than it does to them.
Right.
I guarantee you.
CGC throws them away and then won't authenticate it, even with a certificate. I mean, so
they don't anymore anyway. Like if it's not signed in the building, unless you're Todd McFarlane, then you don't get a gold label or CGC.
Right.
That's just how it is.
But you've got the certificate.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, and I've got an Amazing Spider-Man 3 that is signed by Stan Lee. It was slabbed, so I opened it and read it. I know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
you can't read it in a slab. So.
Exactly. And I can't put it with my other books either.
Right.
I can't put it in my collection. If I had two of them, okay, I'd slab one and stick them out there on the wall or something, But it, when it was signed, the person that had it signed, and he has pictures of Stan Lee signing that book. That specific book,
right,
is a DVD. He filmed Stan Lee signing the book and saying hello and blah blah blah, right? And he sent it into CGC, and they gave it a green label and said it was written on.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, man, what else do you need, man? You have video proof, you have photographic proof.
I mean, from
you know what I mean?
The capitalist in me is like, oh, yeah, that's brilliant. You got the market. You lock it down. Like,
right, yeah.
And so it does nothing but put more money in their pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it's about for them. But
yeah.
It irritates me, the whole certificate of authenticity thing is because I'm a trusted name in pressing and cleaning. Like a lot of people will watch this. They send their books to me. They trust my judgment and grading and cleaning and removing restorations and all that goes along with that.
I'm a trusted source for false news.
So if I were to do a COA, then it would hold a little bit of gravitas.
I could do one.
And you, as a business, has been around for 20 plus years in this industry. If you did a COA, that's going to hold some gravitas, especially in the state of Utah. If you say Greg said that this is authentic,
right?
There's not a person in this hobby in the state of Utah that's going to question that.
Yeah.
They're just not, because we all know you, and we know you're not going to say that unless it's legit.
Right.
But what would
too much so to quit? I can't hear that word without saying that. I want you to make me some certificates of authenticity.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, seriously.
I will make you authentic.
No, not make me. Make some for me.
Greg is now authentic.
Yay.
But what's to keep you from, I got this book in, it's got an autograph on it. And I know you'd never do this. He wouldn't do this, but you see a book that has an autograph on it or whatever, it says Stanley, and it's obviously the wrong autograph. You just put my name on a certificate of authenticity, and now it's legit.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's why a COA, that in theory is why COA is completely worthless.
Yeah. And who does the COAs? The people that have the signings.
Absolutely.
I mean, what do you get here? When you get dynamic forces stuff, dynamic forces, they're all signed. So they make their certificates. Do you know how they use? I don't know if they do it this way anymore. Probably not. But how they used to do it? They would send they would send a stat to the creator. They would have at their house. And I had a friend that did. He signed a bunch of war machines. And he was like, yeah, I just sat there and watched movies and signed my name a couple hundred times and made $2,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. And so they buy this stuff from Marvel for, at that point, probably 50 cents a book. But, they pay the creator $1 or $2 a piece to sign them. Then you say, okay, and then you sign 1,200 of these and we'll give you, $3,000 or something. And then they sell them for $30 a pop. And it's like, wow, man, that's a business.
Right.
But, then you get the, the situation where it's like, well, okay, they weren't there when they signed them. They were signing at their house while they were watching movies and having a drink, Well, you know what I mean? Did they hand them to their friends? Here, sign my name. Yeah. What does it mean? I think it's better than just a book with a signature. Of course, it's going to be.
I mean, that's why me personally, I've got autographs in my collection. Even my Stanley. I was there. I was in a conversation with the man when he signed my book.
Mm-hmm.
So I know these are legit.
Stanley Bostwick?
Yeah.
Okay. Great guy, that's Stanley.
and I have. It's very common for me. I've got multiple Doug Wagners. And
there's only one Doug Wagner.
Stanley Bostwick.
Mm-hmm.
I do have quite a few of those. But that's why when I get a book signed, a great example is when Clayton was in the store.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he's a nice guy. I didn't have a conversation with him, but I was like, okay, maybe I'll get some signed. And he's like, well, okay, it's just like I don't want it graded. And as soon as I said that, they're like, you're not sending it into CBCS.
Right, yeah.
No. Why would I?
Yeah.
I don't have any other graded books in my collection. Why would this one be any different? Stanley.
They got confused.
Stanley's hanging out.
Uh-oh. Stanley?
Yeah, Stanley.
Hi.
Showing up, saying howdy.
Welcome back to Land.
But, so first of all, they were a little surprised that I didn't want to get it flat. And then they followed that up with, well, it's going to be, I can't remember how much it was, like $35.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why am I giving you $35 to write your name on a book that you did? Like, the value isn't there to me.
Right, yeah.
I've never paid for an autograph on a comic. Oh, that's not true. Okay, I've never paid a comic creator for an autograph on a comic book. I paid Doug Jones to autograph my Flash Gordon.
Sam
Jones, yeah.
Doug Jones was named though.
No, he wasn't. So
yeah, he played the pale man in Flash Gordon. That was a crazy crossover though. Yeah, that was good. Good stuff though. Yeah.
So yeah, autographs are just a weird thing. Like, everybody wants them. I have to think that the only reason these people want them is for resale.
I think a lot of people do, yeah. You know, it's, I don't know, man. You know, I feel like it's either just a cool collectible to have, you know, in your collection, or it's something, you know, that, I mean, I've got a bunch of stuff from years ago that you know, well, I got them with some Steve Dillon signs, some Punisher stuff, and
well, I think it was a different world back then.
Stuff. You know, I mean, we're talking almost 25 years ago. You know, and it was like, oh yeah, man, this is cool. This is really great. I love this. Fantastic. You know, you meet them, you talk to them for a little bit, you try and get through the fog and cloud of the Irish hangover that was between the two of them. You know, and you just kind of hang out, and then you see those books and you remember that time,
right?
And you were like, wow, this is really great.
A really good example is whenever he goes to a convention, Travis, comic reviewer, will take a blank, just one of those blank books. He doesn't care what the book is. It could be Superman, it could be Spider-Man, whatever. And everybody that he meets, he has them sign their name on it.
Oh yeah.
And then he's not. That's not the artist. He's not having the artist or creator.
Right.
Like, if you come up and say, "Hey, I watch your channel," he'll have you sign his book and calling around.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I've seen him do this at conventions. It's so cool. But he has this great memory of this convention because he's had all these people, all these fans of his, come up and sign the book.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I equated to, because all of my signatures in my collection are comics that I've read. I've had a conversation with the creator who signed it, and so there's something there. There's a meaning, and it's even more meaningful to me because, with the exception of one or two, they're all personalized.
Yeah,
they say to Eric.
You know, they're not likely to be personalized too. You know, I've got. You know, you start looking at original art like that too. Like the first thing years ago, when first thing Phil Savey ever did for me was a sketch of Howard the Duck doing a line of cocaine off of a urinal. It was amazing. Yeah, and it's just to Greg. Like, who the hell's gonna buy that?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Maybe a lot of people buy that. Pretty awesome, and it was really cool. But I mean, you know, and it's like that. It's the, and you're right. It's the memories of that. You know, it's like the memories of meeting those people, talking to those people, hanging out. You know, maybe sharing a minute. You know, because you're a fan. This means something to you, or else you wouldn't be there talking to them. You know, you just have a stack of them with the CGC sheet and go, here. Okay, here you go. Here's your money. Bye. You know, I mean, I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk to these people.
For me, that certainly played a part of it. So when you're going to these bigger names and it's a financial transaction for them, then that takes anything that was special about that interaction right out of it.
It kind of does.
That just makes me feel like I'm paying a whore. And it is what it is. That's just the feeling you get.
So you say to me, everyone's... but I appreciate it.
But you're providing a value.
Yes, I am. Oh, yeah.
That's why the whole Tyler Kirkham thing, Tyler Kirkham is by far the biggest name in comic books in the state.
I would argue with that.
So would a lot of other people, most of them people who are in comic books in the state.
I would say Ryan Otley is a much bigger name.
That's true. Yeah,
much bigger name.
And Doug's not far behind.
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is, but he's the rock star.
Okay, yeah, yes, he is.
And I've heard a lot of negative interactions with him, and I haven't had nothing but a really good experience with Tyler. Every time I've talked to him, he's really nice. He's incredibly gracious. The books he signed, he did it because we're selling them. If I ever sell them, the money's going to charity. So, like, he didn't charge us for it. He's just a really cool guy, in my experience. So, like, to me, having a book signed by him under those circumstances, that means a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot more than just, like, here's your money, I mean, go sell your thing.
Right, yeah. And, I mean, I would agree that he's the rock star here. And he's the early 90s indie guy for me, though.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Flashy, whatever. But I mean, I would say, that Ryan is a bigger name. Chad Hart is probably bigger than him. And I think, honestly, you're right though. With Doug is creeping right up there. Yeah. I mean, his stuff is so good to a lot of fans. Yeah. And again, Philip Seeley too. He just did a book that David Duchovny wrote.
Yeah. Well, we got Kevin Katie in the state. I mean, I thought.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he got jumped.
Yeah, I got a lot of people.
Yeah, we got some incredibly talented people in the state. Yeah. We're such a slow of all the sudden.
Wow, man. And Devin was just the other day dropped us more books.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got a lot of talent there. A lot of talent.
But yeah, so and then that thing, I was really, I don't know what to do with this. I actually listed it for sale. I think I'm gonna keep it.
Let's see. Is on there?
Oh,
yeah. Problem is with these, especially limited series of 10,000. Hell, that's a current one for most stuff.
That is.
That tells you how many of these things were printed.
It's only what, a $10 book maybe.
I mean, it's probably 15 or 20.
But it's kind of cool.
But I mean, okay, so you had 10,000 that needed there.
Right.
I've got one that Mike Manley did. It was like the Catch a Falling Star or whatever it was, and that was I think a series of 5,000. And I think I have one that they thought it did. It was another series of 5,000. So there's 20,000 of them right there,
right,
that were sent off and signed just by those guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, God, how many were not signed? How many were?
Well, it's like when this last time that McFarlane did his signing at CBC, and we had this conversation with one of the kids in the store here. He has a 9.6 Spawn #1 autographed by Todd McFarlane. That's more rare than a 9.8.
Right.
He's got a book that on the census is more rare than a 9.8. So, John Stout hanging out with us. How's it going, John?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, so we're gonna flex for Dave real quick. I actually got his permission.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. So we get this on. Nobody wants to see that.
Very cool. So you had X-Men 1 come walking in the door.
Yes, it is.
That is a beautiful copy of that book, too.
Nice.
That's crazy.
That is nicer than mine. I should have kept it and had you clean mine up and sell that. But no, I again, and that's sort of my. I have a special bond with my X-Men one. It's like, and that was to, my first main, I told you my first main uh, Marvel collection I completed was my Daredevil.
Right.
Now, the next one, which I thought was like the higher tier one, especially at that time, was my X-Men. I was looking for X-Men, Avengers, Spider-Man at that point. Got too much trouble. But it's I don't want to part with mine now.
Right.
Yeah, I switched out my Avengers one because I bought a collection years ago that had a better one in. Had you press it, it's beautiful.
Does look really nice.
But I don't know. I just kind of wanted to keep that because that was my, wow, this is my top tier completion book.
Well, and you can always like tell the real hardcore hobbyists here because so I came back into the hobby and the very first thing I went for was my Defenders books, and I actually knocked those off fairly quick. Because you ended up finding a collection and I got a huge stack of them from it. But then the next one I started going for was my Conan, and that First Right Sonya 24, so hard to get a hold of, like so incredibly hard, and I couldn't find it, and so Dave, oddly enough, since we're talking about his X-Men, Dave came over to the house and to bring me some books to press, and he's like, I got something for you. He gave me Red Sonya, that Conan 24. It's beat up, it's faded, and he's like, this will be a great placeholder so you get a replacement or whatever. And then the following month, we went to Rose City Comic Con where I got a great copy of the book. And I paid a couple $100 for the one up there. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and he's like, I'm looking for that 24. How about you show me that placeholder? And I'm like, I don't know, I really can't. Like Dave gave it to me.
Right.
Like my buddy gave me this beat up book. Yeah, but that actually means more to me than the $300 copy.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's we talked about this with my X-Men '94. That was the first X-Men book I ever bought when I was a kid. And I replaced it with a nice one, but I still have that one. I replaced it with one probably fine, fine or whatever. But that one it's brittle, has no cover. There's like a little chunk in the corner that's taken out of the brown splash page, and you know what I mean. It's just but that to me that's worth more than the good one.
Yeah,
that's my. I remember, and I remember going. It was at my grandma's house in Bountiful, and I went to Circle K by her house, and she bought me a stack of comics, and I bought that. I bought the hard #1. Just all these these weird books that were just sitting there. I was like, that looks weird. That looks weird. I want this. I want that. And I grabbed them, and man, I remember returning to that splash page in '94. In X-Men '94, not 1994. But in X-Men '94, I remember turning to that splash page and looking at that and thinking, this is creepy and weird, and like these guys look really weird. Who is this? What are the X-Men? Who's that blue furry guy? And that splash page had the reflection of down.
Yeah.
Remember, all you could see was you see Professor X's face, and then a little bit of the back of his head, but the whole splash page was the mirror. So it was them looking at him basically from behind him.
Right.
And it was just so weird, and like just the way they constructed that page was so bizarre and cool. And I literally remember laying there on the floor at their house reading that book. And that's that's 1975, and I don't remember things from this morning. But I remember that, and then that stuff means a lot. Like that's really cool stuff.
That is super cool stuff. Yeah. All right, so but I don't know. I don't think that the weight that we put on the certified signatures is the added value that some people think it is.
I mean, it also kind of depends on who it is, I guess. You know, I got a Young Avengers Patriot that's signed by Joe Simon.
I mean, that's hard to say because
he signed 16 of them before he was like, yeah, I'm good.
The most sought after signature in comic books is hands down Stanley.
Yeah,
that's the one everybody wants.
And there's more of those out there than anybody put together.
Yeah, probably everybody put together.
Yeah.
No, Todd McFarlane.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Jim Lee's done a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's probably, I would say there's more Stan Lees than any one creator.
Oh, definitely.
I was telling you, I have an X-Men #1. That not this X-Men, the '90s X-Men #1. And it just came in here in a collection years ago, and it's signed by Jim Lee and Stan Lee. So Stan and his son Jim,
brother, got it together.
Yeah, but and it was just no COA or anything. It was just like, oh yeah, that's cool. I'll add this to my collection. That's awesome.
Oh.
And that's why every now and again you'll see a Stan Lee signed one up on the wall. Because I'll be going through and I'm like, oh my god, man, I got like 30 books signed by him, man. I can part with this one. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
And I think that's a lot of young collectors. Like that's the one they want to go to.
Oh yeah,
first.
Yeah. And also, it's like a gift, like the Ultimate Spider-Man that I had up there that was signed by him. That was purchased by someone as a gift. And they're like, yeah, I want to give this to my partner, and they bought that, and one of the Star Wars ones that was signed. And it's just, it's kind of cool because it is sort of one of a kind. Because it's number something out of something, and it's that particular one. It's got your certificate and all that kind of stuff. So, I see the appeal of it. I've got a lot of signed stuff myself. I see the appeal. I get it, and that's and it's pretty cool. But there comes a time where it's like I kind of stopped collecting like the Dynamic Forces signed ones, the new stuff, because you start getting into that, and like the Stan Lee ones. Toward the end of his life, they're like $400 a piece.
Well, and who was it? Was it what's her name out of Vegas that had a stamp with Stanley's name on it? Were authorized to use the stamp.
Yeah,
like just crazy stories like that, and the secretary signing stuff and wives signing things.
Right. Yeah.
It's the coolest signature I've got is I have a poster, an original art poster with Bob Kane's signature on it to his son.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's in pencil. It's insane. It doesn't belong to me, but James, it may at some point.
That's pretty cool. Joe? No. No, you're not Joe.
No. I don't really collect any Marvel anymore, and would like Stanley autograph. I mean, they're out there. I mean, there's the Stanley autographs out there.
Yeah, I just sold one a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, there's one out there. All right, so kind of moving forward, I'm going to try to come up with topics that we can discuss. Mm-hmm. If anybody's got topics you'd like to hear us ramble on for 45 minutes or so about, we can try to accommodate that. So if you have any ideas for topics, throw it in the chat, leave a comment, and let us know.
We are Topic Thunder.
Topic Thunder.
Yes. We'll have an honorary Topic Thunder if you choose a topic that we enjoy. I'm just going to make stuff up. That's what I do anyway, so whatever.
So yeah, we'd love for the audience to be part of the conversation. So the sale's over, so we don't have that to plug.
No.
But you did get a couple collections in post-sale.
Yep.
So new books coming out at the shop all the time. If you're in Utah, pop in, say hi, and
lots and lots of books.
And I'll give you guys the secret. to shopping at Blackjack Comics, he prices out of Overstreet. So you're always going to get a good deal. And you grade well. You're conservative, very conservative.
Conservative with my grades, yeah. Because, you know, I mean, I would rather somebody come in and be like, oh, wow, man, I got such a deal.
Yeah.
You know, than walk out and be like, no, I think that's a little overgraded. I mean, you know, and I've got, like I said, I got a guy that goes through so much stuff and just buys a ton of stuff. Like, you know, anything earlier than mid-90s. You know, like mid-90s and earlier. You know, and he said, like, I very rarely see him make a mistake. And he has bought thousands of books, and he brought 2 that he didn't agree with. Yeah, he said, I don't mean to, like, you know, I'm not saying I'm perfect already, not that far from it, but, you know, I'm pretty conservative with it, I feel, you know. And yeah, you brought him up. He's like, look, man, I don't mean to jump on you or anything. I said, no. I like, if I've made a mistake, I want you to tell me that. If you don't agree with it,
right,
please let me know. You know, we'll make it happen.
Well, and that's how we all have learned to be the graders that we are over the years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we discuss it.
Oh yeah. You have to. Yeah. And it is subjective,
right?
You know, grading is subjective. Now there are some things that, you know, people will bring in and they're like, oh yeah, it's, you know, this is near minimum. Yeah. You know, or some people come in and say, oh yeah, this piece of crap's probably not worth anything. I'm like, no, that's pretty good. Yeah, you can go back. Yeah. Okay. Ah, come on. Yeah, you know, it's yeah, we like supporting characters in the show. It makes it look more real, yeah, you know, and it's built live before studio audience and stuff like that. Yeah, I try to do that, and I always appreciate if somebody does say, you know, and that's not to say I want everybody coming in and going, yeah, this is too high. What do you think? And, no, but you know, I always try to be as fair as I possibly can.
Alrighty, so I forgot what I was going to say. Other than need to kind of wrap this up, we overshot.
Greg, this has been so much fun sitting here. I think that's what you said.
So remember Wednesdays we come to you live from the shop here where we run down the raw wall, show you everything that came out during the week, all the big 3 plus the indies, all kinds of good stuff. Mm-hmm. And then every Thursday live here.
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday, what is going on next Thursday? So I am going to be out of town. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I was going to try to go live from a comic shop in Omaha, Nebraska, but I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if we're going to be able to get that together. So
I thought you were monogamous. So you hussy.
I'm mahogany.
You're mahogany.
I'm a mahogany.
Mahogany hussy.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, we're actually planning. So we're driving to Illinois, and there's comic shops along the way that we're going to be stopping at.
Cool. Yeah.
Doing that whole thing, and then my old comic shop back in Illinois.
Nice.
Because I lived there for 10 years.
It's Illinois. That's how it's been. So, you know.
But they have new owners, so I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, well.
It's been 5 years since.
Well, I hope everything remains wonderful.
It won't. Everything changes, and nobody remains the same.
There you go. That's that
right.
one song. Yep.
So leave us a comment below. Let us know your thoughts on signatures on books and what you think. If you would like to give us an idea for a topic in the future, just drop it in the comments, and we'll take a look at it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring the bell. Ring the bell so you know whenever we're going live. All right. We'll see you later, traders.